we love you so much.
The strongest people are those who win battles we know nothing about. Of all social intervention programs of the Caring Family Enhancement Initiative CAFE, NGO of the wife of the Governor of Anambra State, Dr. Mrs. Ebelechukwu Obiano Osudieme, free prosthetic limbs, free cleft lip and cleft palate surgery, and free housing for indigent widows, to mention a few. The treatment, management, and rehabilitation of mentally challenged persons at the Home for Mentally Challenged Nteje is perhaps the most compassionate and stirs overwhelming emotions on both beneficiaries and the witnesses.
May God bless you this today for giving us a new life to live again. May God continue to bless all of you abundantly in Jesus' mighty name I pray.
Established and commissioned on January 31st, 2015, at the instance of His Excellency Governor Willie Obiano, who felt that his wife's charity can play a pivotal role in keeping the state free of stray vagrants who roam the roads and open spaces across the state.
Because I remember when I was about to commence this exercise, a lot of people told me that it will not be possible, that they know very well that once a mad person enters the market, that's the end of the road. You will not be able to rehabilitate the person. But we don't want to be superstitious, because I believe that's superstition. Nobody ever tried and it didn't work. So we gave it a shot. We got an old party home that we cleared, renovated, partitioned to be able to hold about 77 inmates.
The Home for Mentally Challenged Persons in Nteje is a 77-bed facility for both male and female inmates. Managed by CAFE in collaboration with the Ministry of Women and Children Affairs, it is an old party building rebuilt to house mentally challenged persons who receive free psychiatric care and treatment, rehabilitation, and are eventually reintegrated into the society. In its span of over 6 years' existence, the Nteje Home has without doubt exceeded the projections and expectations of its founders, with a record of successful rescue, treatment, rehabilitation, and reintegration of over 142 inmates.
I'm also happy that the total number of those that have passed through that facility to 144 persons. To the glory of God. You know, for somebody to be on the streets, some of them would beat them stark naked, with this dreadlock that is almost touching their feet. But at the end of the day, these people leave the facility like normal human beings. Doesn't that marvel? You know, it's God is too much. Our Father in heaven is too much.
Arguably, the most remarkable of the achievements recorded by the home so far is the case of a 62-year-old Mrs. Rose Anene, who was lost and presumed dead for over 35 years, but was successfully treated and on recovery reunited with her family at an emotional ceremony involving 11 other former inmates on March 8, 2018 at Nteje, Anambra State.
share here are ocean of blessings for you and your family. I cannot control my tears, but I want to assure you, I will intend periodic visits to this family and ensure that the woman is fully integrated.
The woman was actually the pioneer inmate. She was away for over 35 years. They said 37 years, but we always say over 35 years because it's hard to believe that somebody that was resident here in Oka, Oka, could be somewhere at Nteje for 35 years plus, and the people were not able to find her. But her own problem wasn't the type that makes her roam around. Her problem was the type that makes her hide somewhere, come out on market days to beg for what she would eat or pick up remnants from the market and go back to that bush where she was hiding. But to the glory of God, the woman was, taken care of.
Following the reunification with her family and return home, the wife of the governor prevailed on the local council chairman of the area to support the resettlement of Mrs. Anene with the construction of a 3-bedroom bungalow for her. The building was eventually commissioned and handed over to her by Osodieme in August 2018.
And we will now declare this house open to the glory of God in the name of the Father and of the Son and of the Holy Spirit.
To the admiration and appreciation of members of the community and well-wishers.
Osodieme Global did something very unique and amazing. This is what every human being, not just the wife of the governor, should emulate, should try and become. Giving all the best thing you can do in this life.
Conscious that mental health is a human experience and normal part of life's journey, which may happen to anyone, Mrs. Obiano always counsels during every send-off and reintegration event for former inmates.
These people now are going to be normal human beings, begin to do things for themselves, and look for members of their family. So I am happy to tell you that those going today have learned one skill or another at the center. Because it is one thing to give them back their sanity. It's another thing for them to be reintegrated into the society. So that as soon as they get back home, they begin to be useful. They don't become liability on the people that they left some, 1 decade, some less, some 2 decades, like that of that woman, over 3 decades. So if that person gets back home, automatically that person is going to be a liability. And there are people, some of their people might not even be happy that the person is back. But when you teach them skills, when they go and empower them, that is the most important thing. When they go back there, they become very useful. The people will even be happy. First, my person has regained his or her sanity. And second of all, the person is even back to begin to make money, to be self-sufficient as well as assist them too. Because some of them have people that, cannot afford to even take care of themselves. Talk more of getting somebody that had left the house for years. So we thank God that they've been able to learn these skills, and we're going to empower them.
To ensure complete healing and recovery of the inmates, the Integer Home is equipped with medical clinic and a skills training center to teach recovering inmates new skills to keep them busy and meaningfully engaged on discharge and reintegration in the society. It is instructive and safe to describe the Integer Home as a pan-Nigerian center for free treatment and management of psychiatric cases.
Some people tell you don't take medication. Prayers will heal you. I believe that God created those people that are into medicine, and God made it possible for them to acquire that knowledge. So I don't see why we can not, use them for that purpose. And I believe strongly that when the Bible said that we should walk and pray, that is what it means. We were using prayers as well as the help of psychiatrists, among others. The fact that they've been treated and they are well does not mean that they will go off medication totally and completely. There are some mild medications that they can administer on their own, and they will take it for a while. So we always advise their people to ensure that they take these medications so that they don't, slip back into their previous condition.
Amongst the 142 former inmates are persons from several states of Nigeria who, before rescue, treatment and recovery, wandered into Anambra and are amongst the lucky ones rescued during the race for vagrants on the roads. It is therefore not surprising that of the 12 former inmates recently sent off and reintegrated on June 17, 2021, none is from Anambra State. The 12 were from Ebonyi, Enugu, Kwara, Ogun, Osun, and Rivers states. There is no doubt that Osudieme has carved an enviable niche for herself in the 7 years that her husband has tended the affairs of the state by bringing sanity to the mentally challenged through treatment and rehabilitation, among other programs of her NGO, Cafe.
What we are here to do today is highly emotional. You spend the rest of your life trying to help the needy. And today we had an opportunity to do it as a state. Most governors' wives will come to our locality and they will head straight to their siren to the house of big men. But your friends are the poor. My friends, I can tell you that you're doing this assignment and at the same time you're preparing yourself for heaven. They can equally tell you that I'm sure of that. When the other generation were living their lives, they were just doing it the way they were created. But when it was time to write the Bible, their names appeared in the Bible. So the Bible that will be written in the next generation, I'm 100% sure that your name will be in that Bible.
She has proven in actions and deeds to be a loving, compassionate, and humble mother, a God-fearing woman. Little wonder she has earned varying accolades like Anambra's Mother Teresa, Mama Anambra, amongst others, due to her passion, touching lives positively and seeing to the welfare and well-being of the needy and the less privileged.
You are this person that have shown that your love has no bounds. You don't care where the person is from, you're very classless, you don't believe in a particular religion, any class. You believe in the mighty, the small, the aged, the little, the vulnerable, most importantly, to make sure that everybody can stay living and everybody is happy. That is what you demonstrated today and keep on demonstrating. The giving hope to the hopeless. The giving shelter to people that are there on the streets, morning, afternoon, night, under rain and sun. And the giving food to the hungry. As the head of the legislative arm of government, I'll be bold to tell in the number, and they will lead Her Excellency the Head of the number to Germany. If I will go on a book or on a ndị kpatara ego na Anambra ma ọ fara Anambra steeti ebe iko nyere ụmụ aka ka nwee ike iji wee sọpọtụ ụmụaka na Anambra na ndị Naịjirịa ọ na-atụ n'ọnwụ. Cafe adọrọ na Anambra steeti budget. Ife a ga-egi ya, ego ya, uche n'ife. And that was why one of the persons that spoke said that she started doing this never before she got married. And she has maintained it till today. Post me anywhere. When you get a budget in Anambra, she prepared a family, caring family enhancement initiative. So if you have somebody like this as the wife of the governor and the assistant of the federation doing the same way she's doing, I bet the great Anambra State is peaceful, the way Anambra State is progressing will certainly be the same way other states will progress, and certainly Nigeria will be good. We thank you so much, Your Excellency. We appreciate you, we thank you, and we pray that our good God continue to bless you, protect you, guide you, most importantly, in helping your husband, our governor, in helping us and advising us on who the next governor will be, somebody that will fit into the big shoes that is left of the Anambra State. So that this development people have brought in Anambra State will be maintained, will be sustained, and take from this level to another level. This will ask in Jesus' name.
There is no doubt that Mrs. Obiano has the sustainability of such noble and impactful programs like the Home for Mentally Challenged Persons thought out, and has promised that she will continue to work through CAFE. She has also set the agenda for those coming after her to take up the gauntlet and sustain the tempo of caring for the less privileged.
We really thank God that I've been able, my NGO, in collaboration with the Women Affairs Ministry, because I wouldn't have been able to do it alone. There's no way I can get, personnel, do this, do that. There are so many things that are needed to be, to be done, which an NGO on its own cannot do. Because if I do it alone as an NGO, this might not continue after my husband's tenure. And I would like it to continue so that another first lady that enters, we know that this is part of our job, that she has to ensure that people are picked from our streets and, rehabilitated. It's very important.
There is no gain restating the fact that Her Excellency Dr. Mrs. Ebelechukwu Obiano's enduring passion and assistance of the mentally challenged is complementing the good works of her husband, Governor Willie Obiano, till the end of his tenure and beyond. It is heartening to also note that she urges well-meaning Ndi Anambra and all people of goodwill to join hands with her in touching lives positively and putting smiles on the faces of the less privileged wherever and whenever they can. As she always says, wherever and whenever lives are touched, government has succeeded.
Commissioner